Hey guys, so I'm just here, really quick. I'm not gonna take too long because it's been a crazy week and stuff. But if you follow me on Twitter, which I'm assuming most of you do, because I'm pretty sure that's where all of my viewers are coming from, because it's the only place I promote these videos. If you follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen me doing a bunch of crazy rants about the writing community lately. And if you've read my blog, you've obviously seen me do all of those rants as well, which I suggest, going and reading, especially if you're part of the writing community and you're watching this video for whatever reason. Anyway, I just want to talk about, really quickly, this whole you have to write every day insanity that's being put out in the writing community. Really, really frustrates me when people are demonized for not writing every day or being unable to write every day or whatever. Like this whole criminalization, this whole demonization of, stuff that's happening. Like, okay, that's great if you can write every day. I write every day, for the most part. But you know what? I haven't written anything in like a week and a half because I just finished a manuscript, then edited it, and then pitched it and got a partial and a full MS request. So, you know what? Like, I'm in breakup mode. I just finished this manuscript. I just edited it. I just put my heart and soul into it. My hair looks awful today. I'm just saying. Anyway, so I just did all of this stuff, and no, I haven't been able to write very much. And does that make me less of a writer? No, really, does it? Does it make me less of a writer because I've needed a week to sort of come to terms with the fact that I just finished this manuscript that took me a long time to write. And it took me, like, it was a collaboration. We had to overcome all of these challenges. I'm a hand talker, so like my hand is over here waving. You can't actually see it. Anyway. Yeah, does that make me less of a writer for not writing for a week? And if it does, then so be it. But you know what? I've really honestly finished 4 manuscripts since April. So tell me if that makes me less of a writer. So it's just this whole criminalization of people who can't write every day or don't write every day or are unable to write every day or whatever it is. It's really frustrating to me because life happens. I really wanted to write all day today, but I went out, I ran an errand, I ran a couple of errands, I went out and had a drink because it was cheaper than a coffee. I wanted to write, but now I've got a migraine, so I don't know if I'm gonna actually get to writing tonight. I might not. We'll see. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, so it's kind of like, does that make me less of a writer for not being able to write today? Does it make me less of a writer for not being able to write yesterday? It's the weekend. It's Friday night as I'm recording this, and I'm sitting in my bedroom, recording a video about how I think it's ridiculous to criminalize and demonize people who are unable to write every day for whatever reason, instead of, going out and doing stuff with friends, because we're not going to talk about how many friends I have. But yeah, that's really it to me. It's like, especially on Twitter and on Facebook and on all these social media sites, I get it. There's lots of people, you follow these people who give out phenomenal writing advice or whatever that, it's something that you need to hear. I've had this whole rant. I get it. Whatever. That's fine and dandy. I'm glad that you found something that works for you. But don't take all of this stuff that people are saying is the gospel truth, because it's not the gospel truth. The gospel truth, when it comes to writing, the gospel truth is whatever works for you in your situation. If you can write 20,000 words every day and produce a 1,000,000-word manuscript, and you come out with a book that's like this thick, and it turns out it's like Under the Dome, and it becomes a bestseller, then good, that's what works for you. Can you keep up that pace forever? Can you continue to produce that stuff? If you can produce quality work, and you write 10,000, 20,000 words, whatever it is that you're doing, if that's what works for you, then do that. But that's all that needs to matter, is if it works for you. If you find a a pace, if you find something that works for you, stick with that. It doesn't matter what, you know, Righty McWrightpants is doing, or what, you know, it doesn't matter what J.K. Rowling is doing. It doesn't, Rowling, whatever. It doesn't matter what Chuck Wendig is doing. It doesn't matter what Stephen King is doing. You're not Stephen King, and if you are, hello, I admire you. And I've loved all your stuff, and yeah, anyway. Just, if it works for you, that's all that matters. Whatever your gospel truth is when it comes to writing is all that matters. If, you know, such and such a person on Twitter says, you know, writing heals your soul and reading fills it up, or whatever the crap, this ridiculous stuff that is being posted on Twitter, if that becomes a gospel truth for you because that is what works for you, that's great. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody says, because all that matters is that you're doing what works for you. And once you find that pace, that's, you know, that's all that you need to hold on to. For me, when I finish a book, I know that it takes me about a week to get out of what I call breakup mode. And I call breakup mode when I finish a book, because that's really what it feels like. It feels like you've ended a relationship, and now, you know, it's on to the next part of your life. And so yeah, breakup mode. And I know it takes me about a week to get out of it, and then it takes me a couple of days to get back into the swing of things. You know, I'll write a couple hundred words or a couple thousand words and whatever, and then I'll have a manuscript by the end of the month, or whatever my timeline is. So that's what works for me. That's my truth, and that's all that matters. So you know what? Figure out what works for you. If you have to rewrite a story 6 times, or you have to start 6 times, or, you know, you can't write without somebody giving you chocolate every 10 minutes or something, I don't know. Whatever works for you, that's what you need to figure out, and that's all that you have. That's all that matters. That's all that should matter, is not what the person over there is doing or what the person over there is doing. You know, all that matters is what works for you. So don't criminalize somebody. Don't judge these people who have not written for a week. Don't judge them for that. If they come up and say, oh my god, I haven't written for a week, I feel awful, well, do you want a word sprint with me or something, then by all means, yes, help them out. If they feel like they're floundering because they haven't written for a week and they need some inspiration, by all means, give them that inspiration. But you know what? Saying, oh my god, you haven't written for a week, you're not a real writer, or any of this crap, but especially that one, is like, saying that somebody is not a real writer for whatever reason, especially for the not writing every day, is the exact same thing in the writer's world, in the literary world, as what the fake geek girl thing is in the other side of being a nerd, or whatever you want to call it. It's the exact same thing. And so why aren't we up in arms about this? But we can be up in arms about, you know, being called a fake geek girl. We can be up in arms about that whole thing. But, you know, people working at their own pace and finding what works for them gets them criminalized? That doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah. Question of the day is, what? I don't know. What works for you? Do you have a pace? Do you have something like that? Like, I go through breakup mode after I write a book, and it takes me about a week before I can jump into the next one. Do you have something like that? Do you have a tell, kind of like a ritual or something that you have to do in between projects, or when you finish projects, or starting a project? Do you have something that you have to do to get your writing motor running, I guess? That's it for me. Leave me a comment. Feel free to email me, hit me up on Twitter at RaggedyAuthor, or check out my blog. All the links are at the top of my page, and I will stick a couple links in the bottom there for you. Yeah, so that's it for me. I will see you next time. Okay, bye.